In a world not so different from ours, where the sky stretches endlessly blue and the oceans hide untold depths, lived an ordinary man named Jackson. He was a writer with a heart full of stories, but burdened by the mundane worries of daily life. Jackson navigated through his existence in a familiar rhythm, divided between his writing career, caring for his family, and a few modest hobbies that occasionally pierced the monotony of his days. It would seem like an ordinary life, except for the precipice toward which all of humanity was unknowingly inching closer. The world Jackson inhabited teetered on a fine line, a fragile balance maintained by technological advancements and a blissful ignorance of the masses. Here, science and technology raced to craft the illusion of a bright future, while nature, in its unseen and misunderstood corners, began to draft a different script. It took a small group of courageous individuals, researchers, and visionaries to uncover and understand the signs Earth was starting to send. These pioneers began piecing together a cosmic puzzle, realizing with horror that what lay before them far exceeded any imagination. They faced a reality that could rewrite the destiny of all humanity. All these discoveries slowly penetrated the corridors of power. A wave of questions and conspiracy theories started to envelop the world. Governments, kept in semi-ignorance, began to feel the pressure of an inconvenient truth, while the general populace, with their daily lives unchanged, was far from grasping that each day could bring them closer to an end beyond anyone's imagination. At the heart of this story is Jackson, a man who will need to surpass his limitations, face colossal challenges, and discover a strength within him he never knew he had. This is the beginning of a journey that will test the limits of human spirit, explore the depths of hope, and reveal the true measure of courage and sacrifice. It's the tale of a world at a crossroads, where every choice matters, and destiny is not just written in the stars, but also in the hearts of those who choose to fight for the future. As Jackson delved deeper into his daily routine, the world around him began to shift in subtle yet alarming ways. Rumors of meteorological anomalies and unusual natural phenomena started to circulate more frequently. Then one day, things escalated. A leaked official report in the media spoke of scientific discoveries suggesting dramatic changes in Earth's terrestrial structure, changes that could have catastrophic consequences. In an unexpected turn of events, Jackson found himself in the midst of a web of secret information after an old friend working for a governmental agency entrusted him with a dossier full of confidential data and research. The documents detailed how Earth's natural cycles were nearing a critical point, a sort of global reset triggered by a rare planetary alignment, exacerbated by human activities. Shocked by this revelation, Jackson realized he had to act. But what can an ordinary man do when faced with such monumental truth? His decision came almost instinctively. He must protect his family. He began making plans to ensure their safety, only to quickly understand that the challenge was far greater than he had anticipated. Meanwhile, governments around the world started to mobilize immense resources to face the looming disaster. Colossal projects were set in motion, some so secret that not even the highest echelons of power had access to all the details. With his information, Jackson became a small but significant pawn in this global game, and his resolve to save his family propelled him into the center of a survival struggle. With each passing day, the signs intensified. The Earth began to convulse in a terrifying prelude to the unexpected change. Earthquakes in unusual places, volcanic eruptions awakening ancient sleeping giants, storms of unprecedented intensity, all became the new normal. Jackson and his family prepared as best they could, while society around them started to unravel under the weight of fear and uncertainty. This discovery, this moment of revelation, marked a turning point not just for Jackson and his family, but for all humanity. Confronted with their own fragility and the vastness of the universe, people began to see the world they lived in and themselves from a completely new perspective. In this chaos, in this world teetering on the edge of the abyss, Jackson's journey was just beginning. As the world teetered on the brink of unprecedented change, Jackson's resolve hardened. With the dossier of secrets in hand and a fierce determination to protect his family, he embarked on a journey that would test every fiber of his being. The information he possessed pointed towards certain locations across the globe that might offer sanctuary from the impending cataclysm. With no time to waste, Jackson and his family set off, leaving behind their home and the life they knew. Their journey was fraught with challenges. Roads were congested with millions trying to escape their fates, while fuel and food became scarce commodities. Along the way, Jackson encountered others like him, individuals and families driven by the will to survive. Some were willing to help, sharing their supplies and knowledge, while others, consumed by desperation, posed a danger more immediate than the disaster they were all fleeing from. The landscape around them bore the scars of the Earth's turmoil. Cities they passed were either abandoned or transformed into chaotic hubs where the rules of society no longer applied. Natural disasters unfolded with terrifying regularity, forcing detours and delays that tested their patience and resolve. Amidst the external chaos, a transformation began within Jackson. The journey forced him to confront his fears and doubts, reshaping him into a leader for his family and others who joined them along the way. His wife, once unsure of their chances, grew into a pillar of strength, her resolve bolstering Jackson's whenever it wavered. Their children, adapting with astonishing resilience, reminded everyone of the stakes of their journey. In their quest for safety, Jackson's family became part of a larger movement, a collective of souls united by the shared goal of survival. Together, they navigated through the remnants of a crumbling society, witnessing both the best and worst of humanity. The journey revealed to Jackson the undeniable truth that in the face of such existential threats, the human spirit could either fracture or forge bonds stronger than any force of nature. As they neared their destination, the challenges intensified. The final leg of their journey took them through landscapes that seemed alien, transformed by the planet's upheaval. Yet, with each obstacle they overcame, the hope that had sparked their exodus grew stronger, fueled by the love and unity they had found among each other. This stage of their journey was not just a physical trek across a changing world. It was a voyage of internal discovery. Jackson, through the trials and tribulations of their escape, learned that the essence of humanity lies not in the structures we build or the technologies we create, but in the connections we forge with one another. In the darkest of times, these connections shine the brightest, guiding us towards hope and ultimately rebirth. After a harrowing journey across continents marred by natural disasters and the collapse of societal norms, Jackson and his family, along with their newfound companions, arrived at what was rumored to be a haven from the chaos engulfing the world. This place, hidden away and fortified against both the elements and the desperation outside its walls, was part of a global initiative to preserve what could be salvaged of humanity and the knowledge it had amassed. Inside this sanctuary, Jackson found a community of survivors from all walks of life. Scientists, teachers, artists, and families had all gathered here, united by the singular goal of rebuilding and preserving the future. It was a microcosm of the world outside, yet here, cooperation and hope flourished where fear and division had reigned. The initial weeks were spent settling in and contributing to the community's sustainability. Jackson, with his background as a writer and thinker, found himself drawn to documenting the stories of those who had made it to the sanctuary. He realized that these narratives were not just tales of survival, but blueprints for the rebirth of a society that recognized its vulnerabilities and strengths. As the earth continued to rage outside, the community began to lay the foundations for a new way of living. Advanced technologies were combined with ancient wisdom to create a symbiosis with the environment rather than dominance over it. Agriculture, energy, and water usage were revolutionized to ensure sustainability and respect for the planet's fragile balance. Meanwhile, Jackson's family adapted to their new reality. His children, who had witnessed the best and worst of humanity on their journey, contributed to a new educational program designed to teach survival skills alongside empathy and cooperation. His wife, once unsure of their survival, now led initiatives to improve mental health and community well-being. This phase of rebirth was not without its challenges. Disagreements arose on the best paths forward, and the scars of the journey had left deep marks on many. Yet the very act of surviving and the shared goal of rebuilding gave the community a unified purpose. Jackson and his fellow survivors understood that the rebirth of humanity would not be marked by a return to old ways, but by the forging of a new path that recognized the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. In this sanctuary, amid the chaos that had reshaped the world, a new society began to emerge, one where lessons from the past informed decisions for the future, where the value of life and the planet was paramount, and where the idea of rebirth extended beyond mere survival to encompass a profound transformation of what it means to be human. Jackson's story, from the ordinary man thrust into extraordinary circumstances to a key figure in the documentation and shaping of a new era, underscored a fundamental truth. Rebirth is not just about survival, but about the evolution of our spirit, our communities, and our relationship with the earth. In this crucible of catastrophe, humanity found not just a way to endure, but a way to thrive on new terms, heralding a hopeful chapter in the saga of our species. As the new society within the sanctuary began to flourish, a sense of normalcy and hope permeated. People worked tirelessly to create a sustainable model of living that could one day serve as a blueprint for the world outside their walls. However, the relative peace and progress they had achieved was soon to be tested in a way they had not anticipated. Outside the safety of their sanctuary, the Earth's upheavals had not ceased. A series of catastrophic events signaled that the climax of the planetary changes was upon them. Scientists within the community, monitoring the situation closely, delivered the grim news. A massive seismic shift, larger than any before, was imminent. It threatened not only the sanctuary, but the very crust of the Earth itself. Jackson, who had become a voice of reason and hope within the community, faced his greatest challenge yet. The sanctuary had been designed to withstand much, but the coming event was beyond their predictions. With the community's leaders, he had to devise a plan not just to survive the immediate threat, but to ensure the long-term survival of their new society. The plan they concocted was daring. Using a combination of the advanced technology at their disposal and the natural geography of their location, they aimed to create a barrier that would protect them from the worst of the seismic activity. Every member of the community had a role to play, and the sense of unity and purpose that had grown in their new society was now their greatest strength. As the seismic event began, the community watched with bated breath as their preparations were put to the test. The ground shook with unprecedented force, and for a moment it seemed as though all their efforts would be in vain. But their innovative defenses, fueled by the collective will and ingenuity of the community, held firm. The sanctuary, against all odds, survived the cataclysm largely intact. This climatic moment was more than a test of their survival. It was a validation of their vision for a new way of living. The community had proved that through unity, innovation, and respect for nature, it was possible to face the most daunting challenges. Jackson, in the aftermath, found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this point. The world outside was forever changed, and the path forward would be fraught with challenges. Yet he now saw that the true essence of rebirth lay in the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit. The climatic event had not just been a hurdle to overcome, but a catalyst for true change, reinforcing their commitment to building a better future. As the community began to rebuild and reinforce their sanctuary, their story became a beacon of hope. It was a testament to what humanity could achieve when united by common purpose and guided by a reverence for the planet. In the face of the greatest challenge, they had found their strength, not just to survive, but to thrive. In the aftermath of the climatic event, Jackson and his community emerged not just as survivors, but as pioneers of a new era. The world outside the walls of their sanctuary was forever altered, a raw canvas upon which the future of humanity would be redrawn. The seismic shifts had not only reshaped the physical landscape, but it also instigated a profound transformation in the collective mindset of those who witnessed the dawn of this new age. Jackson, once an ordinary man caught in the tide of extraordinary events, found himself reflecting on the journey that had led him to this moment. The trials and tribulations, the moments of despair and the peaks of hope had all culminated in a profound realization. The essence of humanity's resilience lies in its ability to adapt, to come together in the face of adversity, and to forge a path forward with compassion and cooperation. The sanctuary, now more than just a haven from disaster, stood as a symbol of what could be achieved when people united under a common goal. It was a model for the new world they hoped to build, one where the lessons of the past informed the decisions of the future. The technologies developed, the sustainable practices implemented, and the emphasis on community and environmental harmony offered a blueprint for rebirth on a global scale. As the initial shock of the event subsided, Jackson and the community leaders began reaching out to survivors outside their sanctuary. They shared their knowledge, resources, and vision for a world reborn from the ashes of its own recklessness. This network of survivors, growing day by day, became the seeds of a new civilization, one rooted in the principles of sustainability, equity, and mutual respect. For Jackson, the journey from a world teetering on the brink of disaster to one standing on the threshold of hope was a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. His story, from the depths of despair to the heights of hope, mirrored the larger story of human survival and rebirth. As he looked out over the sanctuary, now bustling with activity and life, Jackson felt a deep sense of gratitude and responsibility. The road ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but he knew that they had been given a rare second chance to rewrite the story of humanity. This time, they would pen a narrative not of domination and discord, but of balance and harmony with the natural world. In this new dawn, Jackson saw not the end, but the beginning of a journey toward a future where humanity recognized its place within the greater tapestry of life on Earth. A future where the lessons of the past illuminated the path forward, guiding humanity toward a destiny defined by wisdom, stewardship, and unity. This was the legacy of the sanctuary, a beacon of hope in a world reborn. And Jackson knew that the real story was just beginning.